Okay, hello. By popular demand, I wanted to take some time and make a video on a what if analysis tool in Excel called GoalSeek. Now, we've got a video on GoalSeek, or at least we had a video on GoalSeek on the YouTube channel that has apparently gone missing. So it seemed like a good time to provide an update and just refresh our video and refresh our knowledge of what GoalSeek does and what if analysis in Excel, even though GoalSeek is really very much a basic tool. So now what is GoalSeek? What does GoalSeek do? Well, first of all, if you're on a PC, GoalSeek is located under the Data tab on the ribbon inside the Forecast group underneath What If Analysis. Now, there's several different features in What If Analysis that you can use. Today, we're going to talk about arguably the easiest one, which is GoalSeek. So now what can that do for you? So let's talk about our business problem here, and we'll talk about what GoalSeek can do. And in some ways, it is a prescriptive kind of tool there, where if you have a specific goal in mind, right, there's something that you need. GoalSeek can help you figure out the independent variable values to get the output that you need, or whatever affects the output. It's going to tell you if you do these things, that will give you the output that you need. So it's very much like a doctor writing a prescription. Take this, it's going to get you where you want to be. Okay. So to walk you through this, when you work with GoalSeek, it's not as simple as just pushing a button or writing a function like you would with just basic things in Excel. It requires a little bit of setup. The reason it does that is because you have to define the relationship or explain to Excel what the independent variables and the dependent variables you are working with are. Because Excel's not smart enough to know that. Okay. So once you define those, right? So once you write a formula or a function that has gives you the output or gives you the ability to calculate an output that you're looking for, then you can use GoalSeek to get you where you need to go. So let me just walk you through a scenario. Might make it a little bit easier for you to understand how GoalSeek works. Okay, and it's a pretty simplistic tool. So let's say that you're looking to purchase a car, and the car you're looking at right now is $26,500. You're going to finance that car at a 6% interest rate, making monthly payments, and you're going to do that for 5 years. So now the first thing we need to do to figure out if we can make this thing work is to just figure out what we have right now, right? So if all things are constant, if these independent variables do not change, what is the car payment currently? What is the monthly car payment? That's our first step here. So now I have another video on the channel about the PMT function. So I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how PMT works. I really want to talk more about what if analysis. So in this case, I'm going to kind of blow through this PMT function. And if you don't understand how PMT works, please feel free to go back, search PMT on the YouTube channel, and there's a ton. There's probably 15 minutes talking about PMT. Okay. So for now, let's just knock this out really quickly. The first argument of almost every financial function is rate. So we're going to grab the annual interest rate. But remember, when you see the word rate, it's actually the periodic interest rate, the rate per period, which in this case is not 6%. It's 1/12 of 6% because you're making monthly payments. So we're going to divide that 6% by 12. Okay, first step. The second thing you're going to do here is calculate the NPER. NPER stands for total number of periods. So it's 5 years, 12 payments a year. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do is plug in the present value here. So the present value, I'm going to put a negative sign here. The reason I'm putting in a negative sign in the present value is because Excel understands accounting. Okay. So because Excel understands accounting, if you are the bank, you are loaning out $26,500. That is a cash flow from your account into something else. Is the bank going to get that money back? Eventually, yes. And they're going to get it over time with interest, but right now it's going out. So in the world of accounting, that's an outflow, and outflows show up as negative values. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that we're putting it in as a negative. It's just an outflow, and that helps us. And I can show you why that's important. So we're going to go ahead and grab that 26,500, and the rest of this we can leave the same. We can leave the last two values default, and we get 512.32. Just as a little side hookup for you here, if I were to change that negative 26,500 to positive, now I've got 512.32. Now, how is this different? Well, if you were the person that got the loan every month, what are you going to do? You're going to write a check for 512.32 that's going to go to the bank. Okay. So in this calculation, you're the consumer. If I were to go back and change that, Now, also, just think about it. So this is a positive number. Why? Because when you go out and get a loan, what's the bank going to do? They're going to give you $26,500, which is a positive cash flow into you. But in this case, we're the bank. So we're going to plug that in as a negative, and that gives us positive 512.32 monthly. So every period, the bank gets an inflow of 512.32. So now back to what we were really talking about, which is goal seek. So here's the problem, right? That's too much. As of right now, Doug, the guy that's in this problem here, can't actually afford this payment. So then the next question would be, all right, if he can't afford a car that's $26,500, we're not going to change the interest rate and we're not going to change the years financed. So the only thing we can do here is try to negotiate to get a cheaper car. We need to bring the price of the car down. So the only independent variable that can change here is that cost of the car. Okay? Can't change the interest rate. We're not changing the years financed in this particular problem. This is where Goal Seek can come in to help you. So Goal Seek in its simplest form is a bit of a prescriptive tool. If you tell it what you want, it can tell you the inputs to get what you want to reach your goal, which is why it's called Goal Seek. So if I want to have a car payment of $350, Goal Seek can actually tell you how much of a car to spend on or how much money to spend with all the other variables staying constant in order to get that value. That's how Goal Seek works. Now, a couple things about Goal Seek that are different from other things you do in Excel. Goal Seek is not a plug and chug kind of function type of deal, right? I can't just start typing Goal Seek and have it actually do something. It requires some setup, meaning that you first have to have a formula or function that defines the relationship in many ways between the independent variables and the dependent variable. Meaning I can't just type 512.32 here. I actually have to have a function that says, hey, this is how you calculate the payment based on these independent variables. And what you can do just to check to make sure you've got that correct is you can actually run an audit. And it's showing you, hey, these are independent variables that are lending their calculation values to this dependent variable, which is how you get your value, right? So in many ways, this is how Excel thinks, right? It understands that these three things are being used to get that final value. If you can't do that, right? If you can't go through and write a formula or function to hit your bottom line, then it's not going to be able to help you. Okay. So first thing you got to do, write a formula or function that gives you the value that you're eventually going to try to get, right? So if we're dealing with car payment, we need to write a function that tells us the car payment based on what we currently have. And it's then looking at these independent variables and it's going to change them to get the dependent variable value that you want, which is 350. So now goal seek is actually really easy. So we do need to turn these arrows off, okay, the audit arrows. So here's how easy goal seek is. We're going to go to the data tab. We're going to go to the forecast group in the ribbon. We're going to go to what if analysis, and we're going to choose goal seek. Goal seek is very, very simple, and it's really easy just to put this stuff in. The hard part of goal seek is not using the actual tool. It's building the formula or function in so many ways, the data model that you're going to use to hit your final goal, right? To put your prescriptive values in. So in this particular case, the set cell, okay, of goal seek, the set cell of goal seek is the cell that contains the dependent variable, okay? The dependent variable cell is the set cell, right? Now, what is the dependent variable? Well, the dependent variable is C14, aka goal. So another way to think of your dependent variable cell, think of it like your goal cell, your bottom line. What do you want? The cell that contains the value that you want that is defined by a formula or function, that is your set cell. So in this case, it is C14. So the next thing you've got when working with goal seek is the to value box right here. So this box is where you put your numerical value that you actually want, right? So what is my goal? What do I want? I want a car payment that is $350. That is it. Now the last thing we're going to do here is we want to plug in the independent variable that we are going to change in order to get the goal value that we want, right? And we know that these independent values are how you're getting these dependent variables, right? These independent variables are how we're getting this dependent variable. So we can't just change the payment unless we change the inputs that give us the payment. So in this particular case, what we're going to say is we want to set sell C14 to $350 by changing how much we're spending, the 26,500, because that's the easiest thing for us to manipulate, right? We can just say we're not going to buy a car that's that expensive. We're going to buy something a little bit cheaper. So now when I click OK, guess what? It tells me, hey, if you want a $350 car payment, you need to spend $18,103.95 if the other two independent variables do not change. And it is that simple. It is very much a prescriptive tool. It's really just algebra in many ways, just basic algebra. But you have the ability to use it with functions and formulas, which really makes it handy. So now GoalSeek is a great tool for simplistic tasks. But it's got many, many limitations to it, right? It can't handle minimizing, it can't handle maximizing, it can't handle economic constraints, it can't constrain to whole numbers, anything like that where you've got a more complicated calculation you need to create. You really need to start looking at Solver. And good news for you, I've got a whole nother lecture video on Solver, another what if analysis tool. Now, Solver is an add on to Excel. Hopefully, you'll check that out because it is a very powerful tool that does everything that GoalSeek does, but even more. So it can do everything that GoalSeek can do and so much more. It's like GoalSeek on steroids. So if this piqued your interest, first of all, I'd say practice, practice, practice. This practice file is available on the Canvas page. You should recognize it because it was on your exam. Uh, so on top of practice, 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 just start thinking, hey, maybe if I like what I'm doing here, let's move on and check out Solver and see what we can do with Solver. So with that, my friends, I will bid you adieu. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a shout out, give me a question, shoot me an email, and I'm happy to help you guys out. Until then, we'll talk to you soon.